What's going on, knuckleheads? It's George with Fighters Rep, and if you like talking about combat sports, be sure to click the subscribe button below. Comment, share, like, do everything else that people who are polite on YouTube do. And this is our Robbie Lawler versus Colby Covington post-fight reaction discussion. I just wanted to quickly get this video done because the fights ended pretty early this evening. It's only 3:33 p.m. right now, Pacific time. And it was a vintage virtuoso performance by Colby Chaos Covington, who came in and essentially, allegedly, got his revenge for his brothers at American Top Team by beating and completely dismantling and dominating Robbie Lawler, who's an absolute fan favorite and a guy who we all, as traditional, I think, martial arts fans and MMA fans, have a lot of respect for. But man, Colby was in his face the entire fight. He showed good striking, extreme pressure on his way to a lopsided, dominant 5-round win. And Colby Covington should now be given the opportunity, to fight Kamaru Usman for the welterweight title. Personally, I would rather see Jorge Masvidal fight Kamaru Usman for the title, especially after what he did to Ben Askren. I thought, of course, it was a much more emphatic win, but they were both very emphatic in their own right, with Masvidal obliterating Ben Askren with that knee just in a few seconds, and Colby Covington basically completely dominating Robbie Lawler over the course of 5 rounds and showing that, not only does he have good wrestling, but some solid boxing. He also showed some nice kicks. So it's going to be interesting to see, what fans' reaction is going to be, because it's looking to me that Colby Covington is going to have that next crack at the title. And it's going to also be interesting to see what the outcome of that fight is with two guys with a wrestling base. And I'm talking about Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington for that welterweight title. It's also going to be interesting to see how Usman comes back from the layoff that he's on right now. It could cause some rust, but again, we had Covington coming off basically a 1-year layoff, and he looked better than he's ever looked. So, Colby Covington now needs to be probably regarded as the #1 contender. He's probably going to get the next shot at the title. And I think it's extremely interesting the way things are playing out in the welterweight division, because you've got Leon Edwards, who looked really, really good in his last fight against Rafael dos Anjos, coming off that win. And if Masvidal's not going to get Kamaru Usman, which he's probably not going to get, I would love to see a fight between Masvidal and Leon Edwards. And I'm sure Masvidal is going to think he's much too sort of high level, too hot of a commodity to fight somebody like Leon Edwards at this point. But I think with the beef that they had and the 3-piece and the soda and whatever it was, and the MGM Grand Buffet or whatever it is, it's going to make for an exciting fight and great TV, and everybody's going to want to watch that fight. So, I think UFC brass will probably make a move to try to make that fight happen. So that's basically it. It wasn't anything. There wasn't anything in there that Lawler can do to stop Covington today. Covington is an extremely strong wrestler. I think it's going to take a guy like Usman, who's also an extremely strong wrestler, to fend him off and be able to beat him. They're probably the only guys in the division right now that could beat each other. I do think that they're the cream of the crop. Masvidal always has the chance of landing that knockout punch, but I think the bread and butter for Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman, which is the wrestling, is just too important an attribute to have in MMA, and just makes you stand out, makes you better, helps you out when everybody's at a high level. It kind of pushes you to the next level. It's what the elite have in MMA. You got to have that strong wrestling. And so, I would have to go with Colby Covington or Kamaru Usman being the top two dogs in the division right now. Even though I love Masvidal. He's my guy. I'm from Miami. He's from Miami. I love him very much. I think it's fantastic what he's done to the sport, how genuine he is, you know, the things that he says, the drama he gets into. But you just can't deny a performance like that from Colby Covington. And you know that the UFC brass is probably going to push that fight next. I don't know. That's just the way it feels to me. So that's that, knuckleheads. It wasn't, you know, a horribly exciting day for fights. We still have the Konaski fight that's going down, I think, in a couple of hours or about an hour and a half in boxing. But that's what we had today, the main event for the UFC on ESPN number 5. A solid event. It was a lot of fun. And, you know, now I'm just going to, you know, answer a couple questions that anybody has in the live chat. Of course, if you have questions for the future, when you rewatch this or if you're watching this later on, you could ask them below. I'm happy to answer them. And then, yeah, just give me your thoughts. I'd like to know what you guys think. I mean, does Covington and Usman happen next? I think it should. Does Masvidal and Usman happen next? Probably not, but, you know, a lot of people might want that. Tell me what you guys think, you know. So going over to the live chat real quick, it looks like Marco Martinez is saying Colby and Kamaru are going to fight for the title of who is the least active. Well, yes, they're both not very active, but, you know, if you take into consideration Colby Covington's performance this evening, despite being inactive for about a year, excuse me, you got to give the man his props. I mean, he absolutely went out there and crushed it. He put on an absolutely incredible performance. I mean, he was flawless out there. And so, you know, if Usman can come back at the same level he left at or higher, he's going to be a serious problem too. And it's going to be a fascinating matchup. It's going to be really interesting to see who wins that fight. And, you know, I look forward to it. I'm not much of a fan of wrestling. Obviously, we're Fighters Rep Promotions. We are a unified rules kickboxing promotion. We just love to talk about fights on this channel. But, you know, not huge fans of wrestling, but obviously I respect it very much. And I do think it is the most important aspect of MMA. And when you've got two super high-level wrestlers like Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman who can also fight, you know, standing up a little bit, you've got, you know, a very interesting matchup for the welterweight title. So, you know, that's basically all I've got for you guys. Tell me what you guys think. Who should fight who next? Who is going to fight who next? Also, please feel free to donate or purchase your Fighters Rep gear in the links below. Of course, everything you purchase, the majority gets reinvested right back into the company to our very awesome young kickboxers that we're developing at Fighters Rep. You can catch the Fighters Rep 7 fights on our YouTube channel. They're all free for you guys to check out. And the Fighters Rep 8 is coming September 21st. Mark your calendars, September 21st in Seal Beach, California. Once again, the best young strikers in the world are going to be competing. So definitely you want to check that out. If you can't purchase tickets in California and Los Angeles or in Long Beach, or if you're in Orange County even, since Seal Beach is kind of right in the middle, you can always tune in right here on YouTube and check it out. So there you have it, knuckleheads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please click the subscribe button below and leave your comments and let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk soon. Later.